58, 24 in the paint,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Was that just the size disadvantage, or did you guys kind of play a little?
I thought we weren't aggressive in the first half. You know, they only had one block shot, but we were skittish around the rim, and there's good reason for that. They got two great shot blockers, number one defense in the league last year, and you know they're coming off a couple losses, so they played really well. Their defense was great. It wasn't our night, but yeah, 58, 24 points in the paint. You're not going to win that game.
Which side of that? It sounds like maybe the 24 is the one that bothers you more.
Yeah, the 24 bothers me. You know, it's a weird game. We just never got it connected. You know, it never felt like our offense helped our defense or vice versa. We weren't getting stops. We were taking quick shots. A lot of bad possessions. We didn't turn it over much, but we didn't have good flow to our offense. And obviously we searched, you know, we played a lot of people just trying to find some energy. I thought Brandon and Trace came in, did a really good job, but we didn't have it, and they were great.
So going to Brandon and Trace in the third, it's just to find spark.
Yeah, find a spark. You know, with Trace, you know, he can finish in the paint against those big guys. With Brandon, you know, he's an energy guy. He plays with a lot of feel, and you know, we thought maybe he could connect the game a little bit, and he did. He did a nice job, but you know, like I said, they were just way better. We weren't going to win that game.
It was, you know, low minutes for Looney for I think the second straight game. You know, you did go to Tracy. You say you're searching, but where do you just kind of view the front court rotation right now?
Still so early in the season. You know, we have such a deep team. We're trying a lot of different things. We're playing a lot of people. So Loon hasn't played a ton the last two games, but we know exactly what we have in Loon, and you know, we're trying to get Draymond back minutes-wise, conditioning-wise. So I think, you know, we're good. We have a lot of options, but we also have a lot to sort through, and you know, every night's going to be a little bit different here early in the season.
With Wiggins, do you feel like if you just find his flow offensively, then things start to click for him, or do you think it's more dynamic or more complex than that?
No, it's been a little bit of a slow start, but you know, the defense is the key. You know, his defense is always so important for us, and the better he is defensively, the more his offense will come. So I'm not worried about Wiggs at all. Just it's a slow start, and he's got a long track record. He's been with us for 5 years now, so he knows how we play, and I can probably try to help him out a little bit with some things, but Wiggs will get there.
You plan to play your vets?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks.
Looked like you had a really big mindset to get downhill tonight. How does that change what you guys do, and how does that open up things for other guys?
I mean, it's just the pressure that he puts on the paint and what he does to the defense. You know, when he's in the paint, attention is always going to be towards him. But for him to get to the free throw line 13 times, put us in a bonus. I mean, the game changes when people get in foul trouble and have foul pressure on them. Everything kind of eases up. With his teammates out there that have the ability to space and play around him, he's going to have a lot of those situations where it's one-on-one, and we know he's so good at beating his man. But it's like everything we want to do starts with attacking the paint. And, again, that's where your kickouts come from. That's where the threes come from. And I think he set the tone for us.
Altogether, it looked like your bigs were just imposing their will on the glass tonight. Was that just technique, or was it more of a want?
It was effort. It was effort. I think both of those guys, just did a phenomenal job of making the extra effort and doing one more. Evan, obviously, J.A., but they weren't ones that just came to them. You know what I mean? Like, they fought to go and get them, and they knew we needed it. Our defense starts with our bigs and it ends with our bigs, and we know that. So to have both those guys back there protecting the paint, protecting their teammates, but then also helping us finish possessions is big time.
All in all, it looked like this is your most complete game so far. What does it take to achieve the consistency that you're searching for?
Just time, you know what I mean? Like we talked about it pregame. It's basketball reality is where we live. And in basketball reality, nothing happens overnight. So this is the second game that we've had, our starting lineup on the floor. You know, we've had guys, even in that, you know, they're both on minutes restrictions still. So it's just going to come down to us getting the reps and continuing to play together, and we're only going to get better.
Ethan Sand, Cleveland.com. It seemed like those five guys that you had on the floor really played off of each other. Donovan and Darius and accentuating each other's game, and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley doing their thing on the glass. What was this kind of saying to that? Is this the complete team together?
We are a team, and you know the only thing that matters to us is our team. You know, we are not a bunch of individuals that have just gathered in the locker room. You know, all we preach to our guys and all that they've bought into is doing things for one another, caring about one another, playing the game with one another. And when we share the game, you know, with the talent that we have on the floor, we're not going to be an easy out for anybody. And I think that's got to be our focus, is just continue to be the best team every single night, because we can control that. Now, you're not going to win every game, but if you're the best team on the floor, you're going to give yourself a chance.
In the fourth quarter, you guys' defense led to a lot of transition on offense. Can you speak to what that was like to see?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, who we are. And the core of our group and any success we have starts with the defensive end of the floor. You know, that's the mindset that we have, you know, is that we have to get stops. And, you know, whatever energy we expend on the defensive end is going to transfer to our offense. So, you know, our mindset is get as many stops as we can. You know, be physical, be scrappy, and just have that grit and toughness to us, and then, you know, give the offense a chance with the talent.
Does Evan seem more relaxed with Jared out on the floor with him?
I mean, I think for all of us, you know, he's our safety blanket. You know what I mean? Like when you know you have a guy like Jared Allen back there to protect you, you know, everybody's a little less on edge. And I think when Evan, obviously, you know, is out there by himself, you know, he's trying to do multiple jobs. But our defense was built with the two of them in mind and how they work together and protect one another.
Ryan, let's speak in journal. You mentioned pregame that sometimes defenses can maybe get a little over-concerned with how they shoot threes. How did you feel that you guys balanced that defensively?
I mean, I thought we did a good job. You know, I think we did a really good job for the most part, you know, protecting our paint. You know, I think they had, you know, quite a few offensive rebounds that kind of, you know, that hurt you. But I think the idea of how many just, you know, backdoor layups that we've given, or that teams that typically give them, you know, I thought we did a really good job of protecting our paint. And then, you know, I mean, they're going to get threes. They're elite at what they do and how they create them. But, you know, I thought they were difficult ones. You know, but again, if you protect your paint versus them and take away the layups, you know, you give yourself a chance.
I know it's still a really small sample size with all five starters healthy, but what have you thought of the impact that Strus has had in terms of how he fits?
I mean, you know, I think he's, you know, a great piece that fits around those guys and accentuates those guys' talent, and brings his own level of skill set as well. You know, our group, you know, with Donovan and Darius, Evan and J.A., you know, are a stationary group. And I think Max brings, you know, a ton of movement and force on that end of the floor where people have to chase him. You know, so I think it provides just something a little bit different than we've had in the past. But, you know, obviously his ability to, you know, make shots, create shots. But, you know, there's a toughness to him that I love. You know, I just love watching him scrap and compete.
Sam Amico, HoopsWire. JB, what did you think about the play of the bench? Seemed like George and Tristan gave you some scrappy minutes, and Kerr had that big steal.
Yeah, I mean, I think like we've got grown-ups on the bench. You know, we've got guys who are battle-tested coming off the bench. And, you know, the greatest thing a coach can have is, you know, knowing what his guys are going to do every single night. And with Tristan, with Karras, you know, with George, all those guys that are coming off the bench, Isaac when he's healthy, like, you know who they are and what they're going to do. And there's a trust level there. You know, Dean Wade, like, we have a trust in them that we know what they're going to do. And that makes all of us, you know, a little more at ease.
Morris News Chronicle Telegram. JB, obviously early, but is this a win and a performance that shows you what this team can be when you're at full strength?
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are a really good basketball team. You know, you can't take anything from them. You know, they put a ton of pressure on you. But, you know, again, I think we're a really good basketball team also. You know, we just have to stay whole and get reps together. But, I mean, again, like you look at the talent, you look at the skill set, the ability to get stops when we need to, and we can be a dynamic team. But, again, this is a process for us, and we're going step by step, and we're not skipping any of those.
Last one,
Evan David, I'll write down Euclid. JB, I noticed the other night Jared was shooting free throw left-handed. He had a push-up floater that he also shot left-handed. Is that by design? You guys are something doing just to kind of get him more comfortable out there, or is this just something new he's adding to his game?
It's something new that he's adding to his game.
Okay, good to know. And more so on the offensive side of things, you had really preached in the preseason, and we saw it during the preseason at times, especially when Darius was healthy, that you guys are playing at a faster pace, and there's a lot of movement just off ball, whether it's through screening or cutting. Do you think tonight was a good representation of how you want to play on offense?
Yeah, I think so. And what we do, and this is where, people get a little cautious, especially late, like in fourth quarters, and everything kind of slows down. But I think you saw tonight, we were able to get back-breaking layups because we did the job defensively, and we ran and we threw the ball ahead, and we got some cheap ones that may push a game from 6 to 8 or 8 to 10, to give you that extra cushion. But it's also an emotional thing. When a guy gets a breakaway layup, it has an impact on the opponent as well. So we want to continue to do that. We want to run, try to create as many easy opportunities. We're not going to be, one of the 7 seconds or less teams, but we want to be explosive when we transition from defense to offense.